Hi everyone. I am logging on because my husband is too shy to do this himself. So this is our first ever live stream for Armstrong River North. I am coming on as a completely new to live. Um, just wanting to know if there's some sort of content you would like to see from Armstrong River North regarding gardening or food plots or any trail cam videos. Hoping that there'll be some other individuals that like to follow us, that maybe there's something you can offer, any sort of advice for first time live, first time YouTubers. My husband is very camera shy and will probably spend another 2 months deciding whether or not he wants um, this to go public. So he made a video and he's just sitting on it for a little bit. So here I am, somebody that probably shouldn't be talking to large amounts of people, but I'm doing this because why not? And it's a nice day outside, so here I am. So I'm hoping that there'll be some people that will log on that would like to chat. So I'm just going to be here talking a little bit about the farm and the things that we do. It's about a 100-acre farm that's up north in rural Minnesota. My husband has several different food plots there. He's been there for many, many years. I've hunted out there. I actually got my first deer a couple of years ago. I'm not really new to hunting, just haven't had a lot of opportunities to get out on the farm to hunt. I get cold easily. But he shot, I want to say from the same area that I like to hunt. He farms out there, tomatoes, strawberries, potatoes, gourds, pumpkins, you name it, he's got it. He's been working on some apple trees out on the farm, plum trees, and then every year they like to plant different types of trees and stuff. He's hoping to eventually have those grow, but anywho, so that's something that we've been working on and just trying to figure out if there's anything else that you guys would like to talk about and like to see. I guess the big thing, other than just the hobbies of gardening and food plots and stuff, we just really like the trail cam videos. So that's something that we've been kind of working on as a project, so we can talk with people that are also interested in those trail cam videos. I personally, my favorite is the bear videos that we've had lately. He's had a lot of bear cubs, but he hasn't had that set to video. So all of those, you'll be seeing those shortly. Those are all pictures. So he has those. And oh, looks like Rick, hi. Thanks for joining. Like I said earlier, I am just doing this because my husband is too shy to start. So I'm starting our very first live for the farm. So Armstrong River North, we are big farmers that like to do a lot of like trail cameras and hunting and food plots. So here I am. Hello, Sniper Mod Rick. I am doing wonderful. Thanks for joining. Uh, I just was wondering if there's anything that you guys want to see as far as trail cam videos or gardening videos, just talking a little bit about some of our hobbies there. We are just starting to get to see kind of what we're going to have this fall for hunting. I think the biggest so far is a 10-point buck. So hopefully that won't be something that I'll get to have come fall, but we'll see. My husband's thinking about getting a crossbow, so maybe that will be something that we'll get to hunt with this year. What's the best way to start a garden? You know, I I guess just finding like some good soil. My husband just did a soil test. He's been working on that, and um, that's, you know, he got that back and found out different areas that he can do certain types of food plots and stuff from. But I guess just find out what you want to plant and work from there. We just got a garden crop, or some garlic crop. So that was something that he just has hanging downstairs at the moment, but some potatoes. And I guess I would just start small and then work from there. Make sure you have a good spray if you're somewhere that has a lot of deer, rabbits, any of that kind of stuff, because they'll get into it. So make sure you have something or have it guarded off, because that's the biggest thing, is between the weather and the wildlife. That's going to be your biggest kind of nemesis. Let's see. What do you like to garden? 10 Cloud for joining. I guess we like to have potatoes and tomatoes. Yahia, hi. Thanks for joining. Nice to meet you. Where are you guys all from? Let's see, we do tomatoes because we like to make pizza sauce. And I'm hoping that my husband does marinara sauce this year. That's something that I would really like to have, because we like to have like homemade pizza. Iowa, oh yeah, Iowa's a little bit of a flat area. North Dakota, actually, that's funny, we're traveling to North Dakota tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. My mom has a friend that's from Grand Forks out there, that there's a chocolate factory that makes chippers. They're like chocolate covered potato chips, very good. Certain tomatoes and potatoes. Ooh, that's perfect. Yep, both of which we have. I requested Yukon Golds this year for my husband to plant, and he wasn't thrilled with those because he's more of like a russets. He likes the red potatoes, I think they're called. What are those called? Somebody tell me what they are. The reds. So that's what he's doing, and the tomatoes, different types. So let's see, soon to be moving to Tennessee, just outside of Gettysburg. Okay, I'm not sure where that is. Tennessee? I don't know. Never been there. I don't know if I'd want to go, but that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting move for you. What's a good way to start a garden? A lot of bison, yes, correct. Yep, I actually, a couple of years back, traveled out there, got to see the bison, and there's something for sure. A lot different than what we have in Minnesota. But you know, I guess a good way to start is just start small. I'm not really big on the super big ones. My husband has a very large garden, and he doesn't lay down anything, doesn't spray anything, doesn't like the chemicals. For me, I just like pretty flowers. I really like dinner plate dahlias for flowers. If you want something like a veggie garden, just make sure you do your research that you can plant certain things together. Otherwise, make sure you have enough space to have room in between. Make sure you have lots and lots of time, because you pretty much need to be there all the time to stay on top of it. Do I like the Vikings? Well, you know, the Vikings, they're disappointing to say the least. I don't think they're the best Viking or the best football team out there, but there are some games that I guess they've been fine with. But what about you? Do you like the Vikings? Maybe you are a Vikings fan, and I should probably be quiet, but this is why my husband should be on the live and not me for our first time, because he would probably have more to say about this. He's a sports writer, so he could talk gardens. He could probably say a whole lot more. Hopefully he will sit down and join me and be able to talk to you, because he's the better communicator, I would say. But do you like the Vikings? What about the bison that you were speaking of? Are you thinking of doing the tomatoes and potatoes then? Or I guess, like, I like the garlic because that's great for spaghetti along with the tomatoes. He also likes to do zucchini, and again, he's the one that should be really speaking on this. I'm just trying to get it started and see what this whole live is all about. So maybe you guys are used to doing the lives and communicating. I'm not that person. So I'm hoping that he will sit down and join, because he's standing over me right now, and he would be the one person that could maybe speak on a lot of these items. So, and he joined.
Hello.
This is Darren. Darren's and behind the trail cameras that any of our videos and shorts. He's also the one that hopefully will be joining shortly to tell you the main video where we'll introduce the farm and kind of talk about the things that we do there. But maybe he'll speak a little bit on tomatoes and potatoes and how a good gardener would get started. So here he is. Darren, would you like to share a little bit of how somebody would get started? Looks like we have some people that want to start tomatoes and potatoes. There's others that just want to know how they would get started and what they would do. We have people from North Dakota. We have people from Iowa.
Huh. Well, welcome to Minnesota, central Minnesota, east central Minnesota. Starting a garden, I heard you say start small. That's probably the best advice. Start small and expect to fail. That's gardening is so much try, fail, succeed a little bit, try again the next year. And that's that's how I got started, was just watching my parents garden a lot. And when I was a kid, I really didn't want to garden, and suddenly as an adult I decided it was time to be a gardener. And I screwed up a ton in the beginning, but eventually you find your way and experiment with different types of tomatoes or potatoes or whatever veggie you want to grow. um, North Dakota, Iowa, I guess you're gonna, depending on where you are in North Dakota. North Dakota might be a similar growing zone to here, so know your growing season. Different. I'm gonna lock into tomatoes because I've grown those a lot more than potatoes. Different tomatoes have different maturity rates, and so North Dakota people, you might want to choose tomatoes that are more of a 60 to 70 day maturity rate. Iowa, you probably can go 100 days easily, depending on. I don't know if tomatoes go that long. I Here in Minnesota, we excuse me, tend to stick to the 60, 70, 80 day maturity rate on tomatoes. And you kind of have to know your soil type, I suppose, a little bit. I've never been real big on soil tests. I do a lot of my gardening up where my mom and dad live, and so they take care of amending the soil, and I just pretty much stick plants in. But knowing your soil, whether it's a heavy clay-based soil that's going to hold moisture a long time, or more of a sandy soil that's going to let soil drain, that's going to be important. Not that you can't plant tomatoes either place, but if it's a sandy soil that drains pretty fast, you're going to have to water a little bit more. So having a good watering source is going to be important.